Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly meal plan. If you're new here, this is just a quick episode that I do every Wednesday where I share with you what's on my family's meal plan for the upcoming week. I just think meal planning is really important because it saves money, it wastes less food, it saves time, and just makes my life easier. So I would think there's others out there whose life will be made easier by meal planning also. So this is just to kind of help motivate you to get a meal plan together, or if there's any recipes I'm making that you might like to try, that might be helpful to you also. I do have a blog post every week of the recipes that I'm making for each week, and there's links to any websites where if the recipes come from a specific website, I put the links there also. And that can be found on my website at lolasfrugallife.com. So this week's meal plan starts on Saturday, October 15th. So this Saturday I'm going to be doing baked chicken nuggets, which is from allrecipes.com. It's just a simple recipe where you just cut up some chicken into nuggets and you coat it in melted butter and then breadcrumbs and bake it in the oven. I'm going to be doing a new side dish I'm going to try, which is Sarah's rice pilaf, which is also from allrecipes.com. It got really good reviews. It's got like white rice and orzo pasta in it. I've never made rice pilaf before, I don't think, like homemade. So I'm interested to try that and see how it comes out. And I thought it'd be a good side to go with the chicken nuggets since the rice pilaf will be cooked on the stovetop while the nuggets are baking in the oven. And then I'm also going to do carrot fries, which is from foodnetwork.com. I haven't made these in a while, but they're pretty good. They're really good. They almost kind of taste like a sweet potato fry. Basically, you take carrots and you cut them into like strips and then into like little French fry shapes, I guess, and you season them and cook them in the air fryer or in the oven. I think the recipe actually calls for the oven, but I make them in the air fryer. So that's for Saturday. For Sunday, I'm going to be doing once a month cooking cheesy tater tot casserole, which is from geniuskitchen.com. The reason it's called once a month cooking cheesy tater tot casserole is because it's actually a recipe that you can prepare in advance and freeze if you were doing like a once a month cooking type thing where you cook a whole bunch of food at once and freeze it and then have meals over the course of time. I was really into that at one point, but I haven't done it in years, but I still have this recipe. And this one you can just, well, most of them, you can always just either make and prepare it for the freezer or just make it to make that day. So I'm just making it to make that day. So this is a casserole for the crock pot, and it's basically like tater tots and chicken breast and cheddar and milk and salt and pepper, and it's just kind of like that. it's basically all those together, if that sounds like something you would like. It's not probably the healthiest meal, but it's not too bad. I mean, the chicken breast is good, but it's just kind of fun and easy to make for a weekend. So we're doing that for Sunday. Monday we're doing hamburgers. We do that every other Monday. So I don't have a recipe for the hamburgers. I just take ground beef and make it into patties and cook them up. And then I'm going to do oven fresh seasoned potato wedges. That's usually what I always make to go with the hamburgers. It goes really good. That's also from allrecipes.com. This is just a recipe where you basically take potatoes and cut them into wedges and toss them with some olive oil and seasonings and Parmesan cheese in a Ziploc bag and bake them in the oven. And then I'm just going to do a can of pork and beans on the side with that. For Tuesday, we always do some type of Mexican theme meal. So this week we're going to be doing sheet pan chicken fajitas, which is from foodnetwork.com. And it's just a very basic, typical chicken fajita. You know, it's the chicken and the peppers and onions and some seasonings baked in the oven. And then I'm going to also do white rice on the side with that because my husband likes to put the chicken fajita mixture over white rice rather than have it on a tortilla as a fajita. So that's for Tuesday. For Wednesday, we're going to be doing baked salmon. I do this every couple of weeks. On a Wednesday, we do seafood on Wednesdays usually, so I have like a couple of seafood meals that I've been rotating on that day. So this week we're going to be doing baked salmon. So for the baked salmon, basically what I do is just brush the salmon with olive oil and then season it with some McCormick Smokehouse maple seasoning and then bake it in the oven at 450 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. And then as sides, we're going to do egg noodles with butter and then some frozen vegetables, just like the steam fresh kind that you could just kind of throw in the microwave and cook them up real quick. So that's like a nice, quick, easy, healthier meal. For Thursday, I usually always do breakfast for dinner or soup and grilled cheese. So this week we're going to be doing soup. So I'm going to be making slow cooker sausage, spinach, and white bean soup, which is from damndelicious.net. So that'll be nice because I go food shopping on Thursday, so I like to do something simple, and this will be even simpler since it's a slow cooker meal. So when I come home, I'm gonna just cook up some grilled cheese to go with that, and then dinner will be done so that when I'm, done putting all my groceries away, I don't have to spend a lot of time cooking dinner. And then the last meal on this week's meal plan is going to be chicken cutlets for Friday, October 21st. So for chicken cutlets, I just take chicken breast, slice them up thin, and dip them in egg and breadcrumb, and then fry them in a frying pan. I don't really make these that often. I usually do chicken baked in the oven, but I haven't made. I made these like a few weeks ago, and everybody really was like, "Oh, these are so great," because it's like real, actual chicken, like fried in oil. So it's kind of like a treat, and something I actually grew up eating as a kid. We always had chicken cutlets as like a main part of our food. So I'm gonna make that again, and I'm gonna do the baked feta pasta on the side. That's from feelgoodfoodie.net. That's become one of my favorite go-tos. I've only made it a few times now, but I'm definitely going to add it into the regular rotation because it's so easy to make, and my whole family really likes it. You basically just take cherry tomatoes and a block of feta cheese, and you put some olive oil in a baking dish, and you bake that in the oven while you cook the pasta on the stove. And then when the pasta's done and the feta and tomatoes and olive oil are done baking in the oven, you just kind of mix it all together, and it's so good and it's so simple if you like feta cheese and tomatoes, obviously. But we really like it, and it's nice and easy, and it went really good with the chicken cutlets. So anyway, that is it for this week's meal plan. Again, you can find it on my website at lolasfrugallife.com if you're interested in finding any of these recipes. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you here next Wednesday. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes and definitely all of my meal plan episodes at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.